Morning. Don't know where you are, but where I am. It's early. The world's still stretching. The coffee's hot. And the signals are already coming in. Let's take a look before the day starts making demands. This is Signal Check with Adrian North. So here's something we haven't seen before. A jury in Los Angeles just sided with a 20-year-old woman known as Kaylee in her case against Meta and Google. The claim? That Instagram and YouTube played a major role in harming her mental health during her teenage years. Anxiety, depression, body dysmorphia, the works. Meta's lawyers tried the usual defense. They pointed to her home life, her parents' divorce, other factors. But the evidence, well, it told a different story. Internal documents showed Meta knew exactly how addictive its platforms were for teens. And not only did they know, they were actively researching it, using those findings to increase engagement among young users. Think about that for a second. They understood the harm and doubled down anyway. Both companies say they're appealing. Meta's already telling reporters they dispute the outcome. But this verdict? It's a crack in the armor. The first real legal acknowledgement that these platforms aren't just neutral tools. They're designed to hook people, especially kids. And now there's a price tag attached to that design. Staying on the digital front, there's a new malware campaign making the rounds, and it's clever in all the worst ways. Attackers are hiding FOSS inside fake copyright infringement notices, in the kind of email that makes your stomach drop when you see it in your inbox. The targets so far? Healthcare and government organizations, primarily in Germany and Canada. This isn't some spray and pray operation. It's selective, structured, evasive. The researchers at Trend Micro called it a structured delivery framework, which is a polite way of saying these folks know what they're doing. Here's how it works. Social engineering gets the victim to open the file. Then staged payload delivery kicks in. Python-based loaders, Dual.NET loaders, all designed to execute in memory, which means no artifacts on disk, nothing for traditional antivirus to find. They're calling the final payload PureLog Stealer, and the whole setup is built with redundancy, fileless execution, obfuscation at every layer. To catch this kind of thing, you need behavioral detection, network telemetry, proactive threat hunting, EDR and XDR tools that can scan memory, not just files. The takeaway here is simple. If your security strategy is still focused on catching files hitting the disk, you're already behind. The FCC just banned new foreign-made routers over supply chain and cybersecurity concerns. And look, I get the intention, but let's be honest about what this actually is. It only applies to new routers being made or imported. So if you're worried about the routers already in homes and offices across the country, the ones that have been there for years, this doesn't touch them. And finding an electronic device these days with zero Chinese components? Good luck. You're looking for a unicorn, riding a unicorn. But from the government's perspective, it's action. It's something they can point to and say, see, we're addressing the threat. Whether it meaningfully improves security, that's a different question. It's the kind of policy that makes for a good headline and not much else. Security theater with a regulatory stamp. And finally, the UK. Politicians there have a new proposal, and it's a mess. They want to ban social media for young people, again, but this time they're handing the keys to a single government minister. The proposal shifts power away from Parliament and Ofcom, the independent telecom regulator, and gives it to the Secretary of State for Science, Innovation, and Technology. Currently, that's Liz Kendall, and under this plan, she'd have the authority to restrict internet access for young people and decide what content is harmful, just because she can. No evidence required, no established human rights principles, just ministerial discretion in a political moment where the UK is already refusing to protect trans and LGBTQ+ communities and stoking hostile racist discourse. So what happens when that power gets used not to protect kids, but to restrict content the government ideologically opposes? It's not a hypothetical, it's the obvious outcome. The internet is an essential resource for young people. It's how they access information, explore community, find themselves. Severing that connection doesn't make them safer. It forces them into a darker, more censored world. Online safety is a real issue, but a ban? That's not a solution. It's lazy policy that causes more harm than it solves. And young people in the UK and everywhere else deserve better than this. That's Signal Check for today. Close the tabs, step outside. The day's waiting. We'll talk again next time.